everything. And then some shit happens and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know shit about fuck. Like, God damn it. Welcome back to the Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you also for the support you've been showing with your comments, shares, and downloads. If you're new here, I'm your host, Molly Stewart. You'll find we define wholesome a little differently here, so if you're a fan of the adult industry, technology, mental health, and my favorite thing, humor, you'll find it here. Today's guest is Sam, a dominatrix based in the Midwest where yours truly originated from. She is well versed in her craft and was a joy to talk to, so much so that we talked long enough for 2 episodes. If you enjoyed today's show, check back next week for part 2. As always, thank you for listening, and please remember to leave a comment to help the algorithm. If you like the show, please consider leaving me a review, 5 stars I hope, and sharing it with a friend. Word of mouth helps this podcast grow. That's enough from me. Let's get into the conversation with Sam. Welcome back to the Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast. I am your host, Molly Stewart. Thank you for returning. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And today's guest is Sam. Would you like to say hi to everyone, Sam?
Hello. Hello, I'm Sam. Sam I am.
Sam I am. Green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am.
By the end of this, you will.
Give me all your green eggs.
We're just going to go on a boat and on a train. We're going to go on a great,
We're gonna go
great
everywhere.
little journey.
Dr. Seuss all over this bitch.
I think there's going to be a mouse involved. I don't know. There will be no animals.
Like the mouse that ate the cookie. That wasn't Dr. Seuss, though.
No.
Never mind. What am I talking about? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, and the moose that ate the muffin, too.
Oh, the moose that ate the muffin.
Oh, my God. Now we have to dress up as a moose and eat each other's muffins.
Oh, my God. That's a great idea. I'm writing this down. Oh, I won't actually write it down. I'll remember. All right. So
we have it recorded.
It's true. Recorded for posterity. So, Sam is an industry dominatrix, which is super. Is that how you would define yourself, or how would you kind of define what it is that you kind of bring into the sphere of the adult industry?
More industry known. I'm more known as a cam model, and then I was more of a personal dom, and now I'm like been out of the closet as a dom for a while, and I'm like, well, shit. Maybe I should actually be an industry dom too, instead of just wow, listen to this cool shit about how I beat people up and then tell you guys on cam about it. Do you guys want to get beat up too now? Maybe we'll open those doors. I don't know.
So you haven't had anybody, like, for instance, like, who is a fan of you, like, from cam? Have you done domination work in person with anyone from cam, or it's more just like the people who book you outside of cam and then you just tell everybody on cam about it?
No, the only people I work with in person as of now, and thus forward may change, is people I know personally and people who have been referred to me through those people who know me personally.
Okay. Yeah,
it's like this lovely little elite group of people who, you show up to their wedding once and they're like, wow, what does she do for a living? She's got quite a personality. We like her. She's intriguing. So and it's like, well, actually, no, this is my best friend. I've known her a while, and she actually beats people up for a living. Wow, that's amazing. And then they get all like curious and they chat about it. And my best friend goes, it's really not as, weird as people think it is. It's actually kind of like cool. It's like more of a psychology, like therapy really kind of a thing than it is just beating people up. And then they get excited and then they get to do a little research and then they realize, wait a second, this is going to help my asshole husband from being an asshole. Can you come beat up my husband? And then one thing leads to another, and just beating up people's husbands and sending them home to get the aftercare that I don't want to deal with. Yeah, that's perfect. It's wonderful.
It's all the fun without any of the cleanup. I love it. Like, I'm not responsible for you emotionally or mentally or anything. It's just, here's what I'm giving you today.
Well, and quite the opposite, actually, though. I'm their dom, and I am responsible for them emotionally and mentally. I mean that, but at the end of the day,
I mean more of that as like, of course, like, there's so much mental that goes into dom work, like, and there's so many different levels to different forms of domination, or even within those subsects, different ways that people like that approach.
Absolutely.
So the cool thing is that, like, mentally, it's like you already kind of know and get to figure out that person, like, I assume, while you're working with them. But then it's like, oh, they go home. So if they're going to go cry about it, that's not your problem.
Right.
Like, or any of that kind of stuff.
And honestly, though, they don't go cry about it. It's the opposite. They go home and they have humility again. They have a humbleness to them. I mean, granted, there are so many people who work within realms that do, bring people to want to go home and cry afterwards. That's not really the kind of domination work that I do. I'm more of the, you live on a cloud and you live in this lovely little bubble, and
you need to get brought down.
You need to get brought down, and not just a bit. You need to be brought out of your body through a truly out of body experience, because your life is on the line, and you have no control over it, and you have control over everything else in your life. But right now, you don't. Quite literally, to the bare essence of zero control, and they need it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the interesting things, because I've never done obviously in-person dom work, but even just as far as what I've done on cam or versus customs or just with DMing people, because I think a lot of people too, they kind of have the notion perhaps that they do like to be dominated, but they're not even sure fully what that means in general, or even what it means to them,
what it is they're seeking.
So it's fun to get somebody who's like interested in kind of exploring that, and then you get to explore it with them. I mean, the people who already have it figured out and like, this is what I know I like, that's still really fun, because then you can kind of go full throttle and just be like,
and it's easy.
I'm gonna give you exactly what you want. However, I think it's also fun to be able to kind of like help people realize or take away the shame to them for things that they are actually interested in, for what they are actually seeking, and kind of like explore that with them and like watch them open up. And I've actually seen a lot of people come out a lot happier from it, which maybe a lot of people wouldn't assume with dom work, but it makes them be like, okay, so this is what I've always wanted, but people made me feel shitty about it. And now I have someone, here's this like hot goddess who's telling me that this is exactly what I need, and that there wasn't anything wrong with it.
I'm going to cut you off and appreciate that you use the proper terminology for me. I don't call me, I'm not your mistress.
Yeah.
I'm not your mistress.
I'm not your little, like, I'm not your
secretary. I'm not your side piece. I'm not your
secretary
little,
that you
like, sure,
harass,
you might have your wife, and I'm not your wife. No, I'm your goddess, and quite the opposite. If you want to bring your wife in, we're gonna teach her how to be that same kind of goddess that, like, and I'm bipolar as I've got a goddess complex. There's no doubt about it. Like, this very much helps me balance out a little bit too.
I'm definitely not bipolar, but I kind of understand that point where it's like, so for me, for instance, like, I don't know if this is maybe the wrong approach, but I haven't had complaints from it, but I have a lot of like, I mean, I'm a redhead. I have a short temper. I try to keep that stuff all bottled up.
I love that comes from your hair color.
It doesn't, but I mean, that's what people say. So, but it's cool to be able to, I mean, I'm generally like a nice person, but it's nice to be able to let loose and be like, okay, here's a guy who wants me to tell him how small his dick is, how superior I am to him. And it's like, you don't even know this person that well. And you're just like, yes, I am superior to you. You're a piece of shit. And, you know, here's this.
And you can then get that enjoyment out of it, because you know at the end of the day, you're still equals.
Exactly. Like, because it's like they make the choice to come to you. It's not like I'm forcing them to do this. It's like they're like, oh, here's something that you offer and I want that.
Yep.
So you don't feel bad about it. You're not like,
there's no reason to.
Did I hurt their feelings? Did I not? Because typically, even if you do, because there's so many layers, but sometimes, you know, for instance, it's been a learning experience for me with that, because when I was first in it, it was like, oh, Findom, SPH, it's like degrading. It's not. It's not always degrading. There are people who are into that, but if you go straight into the, like, you know, someone's like, I want you to dominate me, and you're like, your dick is small, and they're like, oh, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not about making people feel like shit. It's about making them, you know, find what makes them submissive. It has nothing to do with making somebody feel bad. It has everything to do with making them feel like they have a safe space to lose control.
Yeah. Which
that's
I
what
think
a good dom will do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's not that everybody needs to be domed. It's that everybody does need to have that place where they feel secure to be themselves, and the people that they can be themselves around.
We need safe spaces.
Not everybody needs to be dominated to do that, but some people do. And it's not, you know, people have a lot of negative to say about it, but that's why they come to us.
Yeah.
Because there's so much negative connotation, like linked to their kink or their fetish, whatever it is. And there is a difference between kink and fetish. So we know. Kink is something that, if we can talk about this, kink is something that you are inclined towards, something that you really like, but you don't need it all the time. Fetish, that's what you need to come.
You are fetishizing it. Like, there's nothing else that gives you that release besides that thing.
Like, and I've heard from guys too that it's one of those things where, like, maybe they, like if they have a fetish, right, and I need that to come and feel fulfilled, it's not necessarily that they even can't come without it, but they don't enjoy it as much. Like
no, it's just not their thing,
and it's not,
like, I don't get them there, but
yeah, they're like, I've tried to do this and I've tried to do that, but I've even found that some people, if they do get that dom work, like with me or with someone like you, for instance, then because they're having that fulfilled, then they can actually go and have like healthy sexual or romantic relationships with other people, because there's not that tie up. And I feel like once you make them feel like, yes, this is who I am, and there's nothing wrong with that, then they have the opportunity to then go.
I have saved so many marriages in their sex lives.
Because
you're welcome.
It's because they have the opportunity then to be like, I'm comfortable with myself and I'm comfortable with this.
And I've gained the balance I need to be able to go and
they can be
and
honest about that with other people. And so then it's like, well, here's this thing that I have, and this is me. And then they don't have to feel bad about it. They don't have to lie about it to people and then rope people into a relationship that suddenly it comes out that this is their fetish or this is their kink. And it's like,
all about clear intentions.
It's open communication, which I think is super helpful for anyone. And you can find that outside of doming, of course. But, you know, some people just have that need to have someone else tell them that they can be who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? And I mean, if we're, oof, that really sparked a sensitive topic for me. Just in the sense of like the unhealthy comfort zones and dynamics that people dive into. And we're not going to necessarily name them.
We don't have to name people, but we can definitely talk about that.
No, not necessarily people, but just name, how do I put this? The reason you feel comfortable getting into a subspace and visualizing yourself maybe not of proper AGE is because you have never been made the space to feel safe to explore that as an adult. So it's you're a child. You don't know any better. It's okay to explore this. You're a fucking adult and you like what you like and there's nothing wrong with it. So go explore it in the mindset of an adult.
Yes.
I have given you that permission. Please fucking take that permission and run with it. There's no, and the fact that there are so many, I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this one.
That's all right. Let them fucking talk. It helps the algorithm. Comment if you don't like what she's saying. Comment if you do like what she's saying.
People who provide safe space to explore unhealthy fucking realms of dynamics that perpetuate other people's safety, there's no more room for them, and you're not helping the industry by providing those things for people. You're not helping the world evolve. You're not being a good dom in providing safe space that brings true balance to somebody. You are an enabler for pedophilia. Please stop.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah. I actually have had conversations with this regarding the industry, and it's not obviously just dom stuff as well. But I was having a
age
conversation.
play is a problem.
If you guys haven't, go back and listen to my episode with Alex Cole. It's called
I'll have to
All the Pillows I've Loved Before, because I used to hunt pillows. Anyway, so, but she was talking about basically coming into the industry and being 27 and going to like a go-see, which if, for those who don't know and for those who haven't listened to the episode, is basically like where you go and present yourself in front of, you know, producers, directors to be like, this is what I have to offer. These are the things that I'm comfortable doing. This is how I actually look. I do look like my pictures, essentially, like that kind of stuff. And then it came into this whole thing where they didn't want to use her because, well, she's 27, which is too old, but she doesn't look like a MILF because she looks very young. But she doesn't look young enough to be 14, so we don't want her.
This is why I didn't want to step into that realm of work. Because I'm not going to even give you the opportunity to fucking tell me that. I'm well aware. People sit there and guess my age on cam, and it is so fun. And then I go like, actually, I'm going to turn 29 next month, and I'm pretty fucking excited. I love getting older. It's
I'm 30. Fun. You'll be here soon.
I'm so excited, dude.
30, flirty, and thriving? Is that what the...
Honestly, though, like, your 20s are when you just, like, fuck up all the time. Your 30s are when you fuck up, but you're aware of your fuck-ups. And then your 40s are when you, like, kind of, like, don't make room for fuck-ups anymore. And I'm really excited for the phase of, like, just being a little more aware of my fuck-ups so I choose the right ones.
See, that's a really healthy mindset to have, because I feel like a lot of people, it's like, and I was this as well, it's like when you're in your 20s, you're like, oh, I fucking know everything. No, and then some shit happens and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know shit about fuck. Like, God damn it. Why was I homeschooled? Fuck!
You know, I was in one of those, like, really high-ranked public schools who, like, everyone moved to that suburb because it was the best schools in the area and they're better than some private schools and all the above. We're all fucked up.
We're all fucked up.
We're all really fucked up.
But it's like, I think,
And it's not we, the people in this industry.
No,
you
just
too.
in general.
You're fucking fucked
Everyone
up
is
too.
fucked
Don't you take that the wrong way and allow that to ever be put into the wrong context.
yeah, everyone is fucked up.
We're all dumb as fuck.
But
we're so infinitely potential too.
But I think what you said about, like, you know, being ready to be at a place where you can recognize the fuck ups before they happen. I think that's a good awareness to have, because a lot of people, especially younger people, and especially, I would say, especially younger people in this industry, just simply because when you're fresh faced and bushy tailed or bushy eyed, whatever they fucking say.
Bushy tail is appropriate for some.
Bushy tailed, wide eyed, I don't fucking know. Anyway, they'll tell you anything you want to hear. Like, oh, you know, do this and it will rock your career, you know, into the moon. Like, it's going to do this. You're going to be so famous. And everyone is just gassing you up all the time. But it's because they want something from you.
Yeah.
And it's not because you have it all figured out. Like, you need to be able to recognize your mistakes. And I feel like a lot of people just want to shift any personal responsibility that they have onto somebody else. And I've been that person. It's not helpful. It will never help you grow as a person. You have to realize that everyone makes mistakes, including you. Nobody's freaking perfect. And there's never going to be, like, one person who's going to fulfill all of the needs that you have.
Oh,
except
never.
for yourself. So it's like, until you're willing to work on yourself and admit, hey, I do fucked up things. I have this that I don't like about myself, this that I could improve. I mean, you're going to be stuck being in your 20s well into your 50s.
The masters of our own reality, man. Absolutely.
Well,
and you hit it on the head. I was wondering where that one of those were. I was like trying really, really hard to take the wrapper off super quietly earlier.
It's okay. You should have just done it right in front of the microphone, a little asthma. Be careful to get those diaper fetish people all going.
I might just do a Dom session where I do nothing but, like, crinkles in somebody's ear for like an hour and a half. And then throw them in the sensory deprivation hood where they can't hear a damn thing.
Now, as far as, like, because you have all these fun toys and you have things I know that you want to show later, but I'm kind of curious as someone who, for instance, you've been in the industry. We were talking earlier. So for those who don't know, we've never really worked together before. We've met once before.
She's cool.
And so we drove around today. Like, we were shooting the shit. I was like, the whole time I was like, damn, I wish we could record this right now. This is so interesting.
Literally, though.
But I found out then that you, I mean, I wouldn't say new, but relatively newer to the industry as far as, like, 3 years ago, because I'm coming up on 9 now. So
I'm still a baby. There's no doubt about it. I'm very well versed in BDSM. I'm very well versed in the psychology of dominant submissive relationships and being sexy and all the above in that regard. I've always been hypersexual, and when I realized that, hey, I come in the mornings at least 3 times to start my day, other people might enjoy this and pay me to do it, I became a cam model.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious then, because I know that you had mentioned, like, you were studying the industry and stuff before you got into it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering, like, because you've done so many things, which I find fascinating too, because I've also had so many, like, random jobs and, like, micro careers.
There's not an industry that we haven't worked in, especially like accumulatively. We've really not, like, there's not an industry we haven't touched in
for a little while.
I fucking studied zoology for a while.
Girl, I studied criminology in college.
I love that. I studied environmental sustainability, psychology, abnormal psychology, and then what was the other one I studied in college? Oh, baking.
Yeah, cool. I didn't study that in college, but I love to bake. We should bake sometime.
Oh, we should totally
Baked baking. I love making those videos. Let's do it.
Those are a blast. And they always, everybody loves those.
They do, because they're so fun. I do a cooking show called Cooking with No Pants with Molly. And I just wear a big oversized shirt, no pants, and I get stoned out of my mind and I cook food. But,
I like this.
So I'm kind of curious, as far as, like, you know, you've been a photographer, you've worked in, like, the mainstream entertainment area, you've done a little bit of everything. So what kind of was it about camming that you were like, all right, I'm gonna do this? Like, what kind of pushed that over the edge for you? And then more importantly, I kind of think,
I already know the answer.
How did doming come out of that? Because it's like, a lot of girls will go into camming, but it's not like they get into necessarily.
I was a dom well before I was a cam model.
So that's more.
Yeah, definitely was a dom more than I was before I was a cam model. And I guess which one do we want to dive into more, or first? Do I want to know what got me into camming, or do we want to know?
I'm kind of curious.
Well, actually, yeah. Let me answer that question that you had first said.
Yeah, for sure.
What is it that drew me to camming as being my foundational thing?
Because since you did doming before, you could have gone straight into industry stuff.
Absolutely. So that's kind of
where I'm curious.
One of my biggest hang-ups in the sense of wanting to do industry doming is.
And you can talk about it.
No. It's more so I don't want to
keep in mind anything that you don't want. We can always cut out as well.
No, absolutely, and that's not a. It's more so. I know I am speaking from a place of ignorance with this because I don't have the experience in this particular realm, and that is vetting people. The only people that I have worked with are people who are referrals who I know are not going to sue me after I leave a scar on their back.
Yeah, because they weren't expecting, and
I literally, my heart starts to race. Right, I might be a dom and a badass, but it still scares the fuck out of me. The idea that what I do is not a safe space for.
Can I ask about that? Because as far as
please do.
I have another friend who's a dom, but I never really dived into this that much with her, and then I moved away. So we still are in contact, but it's not something you talk about over text message,
right?
As far as to the point, because it's there's different levels of doming, and even I don't know how to define it, but abuse doming, where you're actually beating the fuck out of people.
Impact play.
Impact play.
Yeah.
Okay,
impact play is generally when it's
now we know.
Yeah, impact play.
Impact. Comment.
Impact.
Okay, sorry, I can do this. Comment below. Impact play. Help the algorithm. Okay.
Yeah, if you're getting hit, it's impact play.
So as far as that, regardless of vetting and stuff like that, do you guys work with things like waivers? For instance, when I shoot content with other girls and stuff
if
like that.
If you're in a state that it's
paperwork?
illegal, you just signed a document that literally incriminalized you.
Oh.
That's why I haven't worked with anybody besides a personal reference people.
Girl,
I have 4 people.
Another interjection.
Yeah.
Illegal? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
It's domestic abuse in a lot of states. And it depends on state to state. It depends on what dynamic it was. It depends what they want to go after you for. And I'm saying this all out of ignorance. I don't I've heard maybe a few instances of things like this.
Mm-hmm. But still, it's a scary thing.
I have no fucking clue. I have no idea. And I see all of these amazing, really successful doms on Twitter, and they have their sites, and they've got their intake sheets and all the above, and I've studied it, and I'm at the end of it, I'm I still don't feel I could step into that safe space with people I don't know.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's a release as well.
So I have a question with that then. So is that kind of one of the reasons that it brought you to camming then? Because it's I always felt with camming that you're creating your own
bingo
space.
Yes, that was safe. Literally the answer that came to my head the moment you asked that question.
We're vibing right now.
When we even just talk, yes, I was all day. Oh my god, we got this! So excited. But truly, no, camming. When I watched what the most successful cam models were doing, they were making a living out of living. And that is exactly what I have always striven to do. Strive.
That's what I have. What I has always strive.
We're gonna grandma. I just spit all over. That was fantastic. I literally let it go. I'm I also might have picked the one up that was dipped in oil and rolled in keef. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Stony baloney. David, put some baloney right there. This is fun.
Oh my god, this is great.
I look at balls every day. In fact, I may have seen your balls. When you spend your days evaluating dick pics like I do, you see it all. And if it looks like I can smell your crotch from a photo, chances are you're not using Manscaped. Luckily for you, Manscaped is now a sponsor of the Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast, and we have an exclusive offer for you. 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use my code TWND at checkout. If you're shaving your nuts with the same trimmer you use on your face, you're essentially teabagging yourself. Gross. The new and improved Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, so if you shower, you're out of excuses for that marsh of pubes fermenting in your undies. The Lawnmower 4.0 features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. You can customize your trim with 4 different guard lengths, and you know what they say, trimming the bushes makes the tree look bigger. While your pubes may look like wires, you don't need wires with Manscaped's new wireless charging system. It uses electromagnetic induction, which can help the battery last longer. And don't we all want to last longer? Say goodbye to crusty pubes and hello to smooth, clean balls. Join the 4 million men worldwide who already trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off plus free worldwide shipping with my code TWND at manscaped.com. And we thank Manscaped for sponsoring this podcast.
Great.
All right.
Fantastic.
So, but yeah,
Safe spaces.
It is creating, you're basically creating a living out of your life. And that's essentially what it comes down to, which is why I've said before to anyone who has listened to this podcast, hello, the 5 of you who keep tuning in. I love and appreciate you so very much.
Your numbers are going to grow.
What the biggest thing that we sell in the industry, and I said this in the car earlier, is our privacy.
Yeah,
like
we
sell
our
privacy.
intimate personality.
Because it's not even just like, for instance, like with a YouTube streamer, right? Which is also, they are selling, in a way, entertainment, but also a form of their privacy. Because it's like things that they say, they will get put anywhere. Like anyone who's out in a public sphere. However, we go so much further. Like you've seen into my butthole. That's about as private as it gets.
Nobody gets to see into my butthole for free, and I love it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I make videos. People have.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes,
yeah,
these
but
people,
saying,
people have definitely. I thought you were talking about in like a cam public space.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Actually, I only started doing butt plug stuff very recently. I was not a fan of that on cam. No.
I just was never a fan of that to begin with, and then over the last like 2 years, I've been doing some self-healing in that realm of, of play.
It's been about 2 years for me too. Now that I've been kind of like,
oh, I love plugs now. If you ever want to get like a really,
like
really, okay, recommendation. Take notes. If you would like to get a glass plug that is like just a gorgeous piece of art to decorate your gorgeous piece of art.
Mine isn't gorgeous. I have 2 moles directly on my asshole. Just look like little shit particles on my butt.
Okay, wait, hold on. This
will
gonna make
cover
it great.
it up?
No.
Okay.
So they're floral designs and they're glass flowers, and they're probably some of the most.
Oh, that's so pretty.
They're some of the most beautiful glasswork to begin with, and then it's a fucking perfect anal plug too. So get yourself a hedonic glass, HEDONIC. The gentleman who makes them is just a total sweetheart too.
Wow.
But 2 of his plugs I have, and I'm like, oh my god, it just feels like you just feel like a piece of art. And you talk about your little moles. It's okay. It's a flower. It's a field of flowers. There's dirt in flower fields.
There is dirt in flower fields.
It's just gonna be a piece of art. You could we could just do a scene or a photo where I like paint grass on your ass.
Yes.
And it's like the root of a tree or something.
I love
it's
it.
gonna be gonna make it.
We should do it.
Someone buy her hedonic glass.
That's exciting. It's so fun, like, being able to explore into these, like, weird creative things, just, like, trying new shit that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And actually, with the mole, in regards to the moles on my asshole, I've actually discussed on cam before, like, would you guys prefer that I get these removed?
No.
Does this bother you? And no, literally, because I've had some negative comments before. You know what I'm saying? And
From
so
the people who don't give a fuck about who you are.
you overthink it. But then literally everybody is like, no, fucking don't remove them. No, we love them. And I was like, you love my asshole moles. Thank you.
Yes, they do.
Thank you. Because I could not imagine I've had moles removed from my face because I have so many moles, and they were like, this could be cancer, and it wasn't. So, but
Always worth it to check.
always worth it. And
If that's the case.
yeah. And freaking, the amount of pain from that and like the swelling, I cannot imagine having to take a shit after removing 2 moles from your asshole. Can you imagine?
You know, I can imagine some sort of ass pain from things I've done to other people's assholes, but I can't imagine that one. That's not one I can imagine.
I've thought about it so many times because I have thought about removing these moles for the past like 5 years since someone pointed it out negatively to me, and I've obsessed about it for 5 years until now because I'm not going to do it because fuck that.
I feel like the only way you could do it is make sure that like you're having like liquid shits while you're in recovery. Like just make sure you're eating foods that are just liquid and you don't have to push very hard. It's just runs right through you. That sounds horrific as well, but I don't know that you have any other option if you do want to go there.
Yeah. I mean,
You're like,
I just
oh
don't
shit,
know.
it's now an option.
No, I don't think so. Though, because here's one of the funny things.
It's not.
Like,
It's definitely not. It's still not.
no, because it's like it's funny to think about. Like I was just thinking about. I think I just
God,
zoned out. So I'm sorry if I was just like, because I started thinking about like something gross. And I was like, should I talk about this? No, people are trying to jerk off to me still. Should I?
I
They're
just
not
started
jerking
talking
off
about
right
liquid
now.
shits. My bad.
Anyway, but I'm not going to divulge this a little bit. We'll keep some things a mystery. So, but I look at that now and it's like, these are things that I used to hate and used to like overwhelm me. Like the littlest things like about my body or my hair or this or that. And no, I don't give a fuck.
It's a good thing to not give a fuck.
It's kind of like, it's not even that I don't give a fuck. It's that when people point out things that they don't like about me, when I'm at a point that I actually like myself, I'm like, oh, what you say doesn't have any bearing. Do you think I care?
Do you ever still have like days of body dysmorphia though, where it's your head who's telling you?
Every day.
Okay, cool. I
Literally
do too.
every day.
I was curious. It's
But
like when
it's-
somebody else tells me, I don't give a fuck.
It's one of those things that I try now to kind of like,
I just know I'm lying.
I get those, and so I try to use that as motivation to
Oh,
like,
there you go.
in whatever way, do better.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I know that I'm not fat. I get it.
Yeah.
However, I wake up and I'm just like, I just look
what
like
you see.
that piece of shit. So you know what I do is I fucking train super extra hard that day and I work out so hard until
That's
I'm like so
awesome.
sore because I'm like, okay, obviously that's not, but hey, at least I'm pushing myself
Right.
through that in a way that's positive.
I was just gonna say it's a healthy channeling, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, that just healthy channeling in itself goes into what it is that I do for a living. You have to figure out where it is that you can put your energy and channel it that makes you into the better version that you're trying to be.
Which is insane because it's also a point where it's like everybody has body dysmorphia. Everybody at some point about something.
Yep.
It's just a fact of life because we're all self-loathing creatures in one way or another, even if we try to hide it. So
I
it's
hate
like,
it.
but one of the cool things that I realize now is that I've started to like see things, for instance, that I used to like hate or try to avoid. Like for instance, I like my real smile and facial expression, like watching back my podcasts, I'm just like, you look so fucking stupid. Like I hate my smile. It's so fucking big. When I really laugh, I'm like, like throwing back my head like a just rhinoceros. And it's ridiculous.
If it makes you feel better, like when I'm like smiling on a podcast or something, the reason I had to like start smoking that joint is like I feel like the corners of my mouth will literally start to
Do
twitch.
they twitch?
They
Shut
literally,
the fuck
literally start to like twitch, and I'm just like, what is wrong with me?
Can everyone see this right
And
now?
they can.
I don't care, but I get.
I don't care either. But
nobody
it's just like,
else- but nobody
oh,
else
why am I
notices it.
twitching?
Nobody else notices or
Well,
points
that's
it out.
good.
But it's also these things that I've
I
started
hate
to
it.
be like, I would never before like post something like this of me in no fucking makeup.
Oh, right.
Nothing fucking done. And I post photos of myself doing a real smile now instead of that fake smile that you learn to do for photos.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking don't like my smile, but I'm doing it to like make myself be like, that's
people-
fucking you.
They want that authentic person. Like you
Just
talk
start
about,
to
they
love
want
it.
their
Just
want your
start to fucking
privacy.
love it.
Yes.
Just start to love it because for some reason other people do. So there must be a reason. You got to figure it out eventually. Like,
Absolutely.
but it's also very hard.
It's not easy, but that's why we really appreciate all of the times that you tell us we're beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks. Excuse me, it's been 30 minutes since you last gave me attention. I don't mean to be dramatic, but am I still pretty?
Attention.
But it's not even just like the pretty factor because it's like,
No, I know.
You know, one of the things that's cool is like being able to not have to be on all the time. You're just like, oh, like you're still putting out this kind of content. You're still putting out these things and people still enjoy it. Like, who gives a shit? You don't have to be on all the time. You don't have to,
Yeah.
you know, when you look at yourself and the only value that you see is the surface level, then it's like,
Do you see that I actually have makeup on? Do you like? We had this conversation actually this morning. Oh my
Do
god,
you?
I love that you can't tell that I have makeup. on
I
right
can tell a little bit with the
now.
mascara.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of
Just a little mascara. That's all I really noticed. But
Regardless, though, it was funny because like dominatrix work is such a serious topic to me. So when I show up to talk about dominatrix work, I want to show up with that level of seriousness. So I was going to possibly wear full latex.
I was like, you're
I
even
didn't.
miserable.
Well, I don't really, honestly, it doesn't bother me. Something about, especially latex, but like outfits in general that like don't necessarily feel the greatest, but just give you that empowerment, I guess, to be able to withstand.
I do know what you mean.
Especially helps when you are in a dom space trying to talk about that space. So I had this major debate of, well, do I wear the like total like sweatpants that is like what I wear on cam? And I thought about it. I was like, well, I do still give people that side of me. So
and there are people who love all those different sides of you.
Absolutely.
And there's always going to be someone who hates one particular side of you or all the sides of you.
I just ban them.
But it's also yeah, exactly. It's like you don't have to dwell on that.
I don't have to do that's why Cam is so lovely. It's like, this is my world, this is my reality. I guess I'm finally gonna answer that question.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, don't be sorry at all. There's nothing to apologize about. I love it. But no, it is. It's your world. It's you run it. You make your rules on it, and that's I think the one thought I was about to say was just that the top people make a living out of living, and that's a beautiful thing. You create it the way you want to. Like I don't get nude in my public chat, and it's nice. I like it. It's like the dom side of me loves that. It's like, no, bitch, you gotta pay to see me naked. I don't cater to freeloaders like that. No. And I have no disrespect for the women who do go full nude in their public chat.
Yeah, it's just
like,
not for you.
It's just not. I can't. Like you. That's why I do well with doing that, because that's what I enjoy. So
that's
my audience is
with, and when you're comfortable, they are.
I am comfortable
but you
being
thrive
naked.
in your comfort.
Yes, but honestly, live outside your comfort zone. It's a fucking blast.
You should, but also it's like you do that in other ways. I feel like, but it's like that's what's nice about having something, whether it is like your subscription page or whether it is your cam space or whatever that is, because there are so many different levels of this industry for every person who wants to be a part of it at some point. It's like, it is not for everyone. There are people who test it and it's not for them, and there are people who keep trying and it's not for them, and then they complain about why isn't this working, and it's like, well, maybe it's not for you if at this point it's not working. But some people don't want to
I think the other thing I don't even think that it's necessarily not for them. They just were never themselves. They never sat there and discovered what it is that they wanted to do to be able to connect with an audience that genuinely can create that safe space for each other.
I agree with that, but in that way I kind of mean is that they keep trying to push what they think people want. So at the end of the day, then it's not for them because they don't even know who they are yet.
Yeah.
Like when I started,
it just doesn't click.
I had no idea who I was, and so much was just taken away from what I thought that I was.
Yeah.
And what I felt like I was, and all of that ended up just becoming the job, and I became the job, and I lost like every amount of like respect for myself and for my situation and everything. And it's because it's not something that I ever tried to do. It's not ever something that I pursued. It's something that ended up happening.
Yeah. It was, you were drawn to it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what you wanted to do.
And I don't regret it. And for anyone who might say anything regarding this, I do not regret this, because I love the job, because now I finally made it where I'm like, oh, I can separate this from that, and I can
gain the empowerment that is there.
And I can finally see the empowerment that everybody always touts and talks about. Wow, it's so empowering, blah, blah. But I never felt that. I didn't feel like disempowered by it, but it was just a thing.
It was just
you know
a
what
part
I'm saying?
of your
but
life.
Now it's like I've started to like actually discover what I love about the job, and there are so many facets of it. And it's like, I think that everybody just has different levels. It's like doing, some girls only do girl, some girls only do solo, some people do boy, girl, and gangbangs. Like there are so many different levels.
And you have to take a moment too to like deep breath. Yeah, you stuck with it and still figured out what it is that gives you that empowerment. Whereas so many other people tap out and then have this horrible view of the industry because of the fact that they didn't bring themselves to finding what it is that they wanted to do. And you could do that in any industry.
Any job.
Any industry. Your parents want you to be a lawyer, so they push you to be a fucking lawyer, and you hated law school, so by the end of it, you literally want to kill yourself.
Yeah, and then you end up being a successful lawyer that's so emotionally, mentally, and physically repressed that you have to come to her to get your balls knocked out of your pants.
I was literally just going to say that! Bingo! It's just a full circle. Like, by all means, parents, take better care of your kids, but if you don't...
I'll take care of them for you.
In, like, 50 years. I'm not
Like,
spanking anybody younger than that for the most part.
No, but it's like, it's so interesting to be able to like have this conversation. Especially, I find it so cool that you kind of went into it already kind of understanding yourself to a point that you're like, all right, now I know what it is that I want to do with this, which I think is cool. Like, you're
Secret,
still
I lived
working on
like 7
discovering.
years trying to be somebody I wasn't, and it didn't work very well, and that didn't work very well to an extent that was kind of scary in my head. So, I was like, I literally have no other choice but to start being an authentic self, because if I continued lying to myself, we all can answer where I would like to go with this statement. Don't do that to yourself, and don't bring yourself to that point. I don't care what job you're pursuing. I don't care what career. I don't care how much you've invested in it. If it's making you feel like you are not doing what you need to do for you, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Because coming to me and coming to people like me, if they're not helping you grow to actually go do the things that are going to bring you to that space, they're not being a good dom, and you're not setting yourself up for balance, and it's going to be a really, really rough ride. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah. And, it's like that with almost any situation when you look at it too, because I've seen so many people like, go into the industry and push themselves like to extremes at like behest of fan base and things like that, and they do things that they're either not prepared to do or never really wanted to do.
No.
And that shit will fuck you up. Trust me, because I lived it. And I'm not saying, and I'm not even talking about necessarily even industry stuff, but just things in my personal life.
Yeah.
And did things at the behest of someone who should have, in their position, cared enough about me to not
put you in those
positions. To not put me in those positions in the first place. However, it's like you need to respect yourself, because until you respect yourself, nobody else is going to.
Nope.
Because they see you, and they see that you just need someone, and that you need someone to pick you up and put you back together. But they'll put you together all fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you have to at some point undo all that damage.
Yep.
Which you'll never fully
It's
undo.
amazing how much, and like this ties to so many issues in the world. It is amazing how much we believe what people tell us that we are.
Yeah.
And when we hear it for long enough, it's really hard to undo. And it makes me sad for so many different, it not even makes me sad. It breaks my fucking heart for so many scenarios of the amount of times that we just believe what we're told about ourselves, because that's the stupid little glimpse of a perception that they have of you.
Because
you don't know anyone, and how do we even know? Like, come on.
And I think one of the worst things too is that when those lies, essentially, or when those imposed perceptions come from someone who is supposed to like love you or care about you, whether it's a friend, whether it's a partner, it hurts even worse. And when it extends, you're just like, well, this person loves or cares about me in whatever representation that is, to me and them. Clearly these things must be true, because why would they lie to me?
Right. This is my safe space.
And
if my safe space is making space for this, then
clearly they must feel the same. But but the problem comes is then when you end up internalizing that for so long. I could even look at things that I think about myself now, or like moments that I have in my brain that I just go right back to that depression, this and that. And there's a rational part of my brain that is like, but this isn't true and this isn't accurate. But that side is still so loud that some days I can't pull myself out of it. And it's like, and it's even more frustrating knowing that it's wrong,
not true,
and having a very limited ability to manage it. Some days it gets better every day. However, those things exist, especially over
Can
such
we
a long
do
course of time.
a meditative thing that I do on my cam space? And
I can try.
Oh God, no! This is like one of the best things ever. I have it on my like free OnlyFans too. Give yourself a motherfucking hug, and I'm not even joking. I swear to God. Like, you know how you can like grab your, like, you're flexible enough You can kind of like close your eyes. If you cannot reach across, like there are bodies that can't reach there, just fold them over your stomach.
If you're not looking at this because you're only listening,
yeah,
then go to youtube.com/MollyStewartChats and you can watch us hug ourselves with our eyes closed.
Quite literally.
Actually, it's fucking sick with your eyes closed.
It's really nice.
It's like, wait, is there another person? But where's the other head?
Isn't that beautiful?
Ugh.
I'm like watching you do this right now. I'm so sorry. No, it's great. I normally do it with you and like, it's like a collective group hug, but like, okay, so no, I will. I'll walk you through it really quickly just so you can actually like do it with us. So this is going to be like a lovely little, the energy still stays in the video. It's still emitting that energy and those frequencies to you. I'm going to be a stupid little spiritual person, but it works. So fucking trust me. Sit down. You don't actually have to be sitting down. I suggest it. I am literally the kind of person who, when I need it, I noticed that I was doing this to like help with my mental health, that if I felt like I was about to explode, I would give myself a hug instead. So you quite literally, if you cannot reach your opposite shoulders with your hands, your right hand to your left shoulder and your left hand to your right shoulder, just lay them across your stomach to where your forearms are stacked. Figure that out for a second. Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Good job. Killing it.
I'm so proud of you.
This is like the affirmation episode.
So, quite literally, like, and this is why I'm a dom, because I create safe space. But if you can, reach all the way around, reach as far as you can. Give yourself truly a tight hug. And close your eyes.
Close them.
And take a very... Stop watching!
Stop it. You can't even see our boobs. We're covering them.
Deep breath in. Exhale. Adjust your grip to where it is more comfortable. Use your thumbs to draw them back and forth on your skin.
Dude, this is so sick.
Another deep breath in. Your safest space is always right here. You're sharing the safe space right now, and it is beautiful, and it is vulnerable, and I thank you. Go ahead and stroke your thumbs along your shoulders again, or your elbows, wherever they lie. Another deep breath in. Exhale, open your eyes. And draw your hands back into your lap, or whatever it is that you would like to go back to in life. I started tearing up. I'm sorry. I can't like enter that space without crying a little bit.
No, don't worry. That was beautiful. Your voice is like, you have a beautiful voice. It's very calming.
I really want to do more guided meditation work, but I just like, whenever I do any sort of guided meditations or dive into that space, it's normally me giving myself a guided meditation, and you don't really want to like set up a bunch of like proper recording equipment and all the above and blah blah blah.
You're like, I need it now.
Exactly. I'm like, no, I literally just need to go meditate. So
yeah.
I did. Actually, it's so stupid. I like took my free OnlyFans. I was like, I'm taking everything that's like XXX sexiness off of this, and this is gonna be, I think I title it like a space for balance. And it's literally just me like, hey, have you checked in with your mental health lately? Like, hey, I'm, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. And like I think one of my like hug videos is on there too, just kind of like little things, but I never really continued doing anything with it because that's my space, and it's a space for balance, and I still need to keep that balance in order to host a space for balance. So I'm working on it. I love you guys.
I think that's cool because it's something that you're still working on and working through yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but you kind of share bits of that as you go, and I think that that's super important. So. And I think that if more people were open to talking about mental health and how they actually felt about things and this or that or the other thing, you know, we'd all be a lot better off. Relationships would be a lot better, whether friendship or
business relationships would be better. Anything. Like everything I just want to be just more.
Because I know sometimes when people say like relationships,
yeah,
we'll just assume like, oh, the person that you're fucking forever.
No, you have a relationship with the person who held the door for you or didn't hold the door for you.
Exactly. And it's like, one of the most interesting things that I found is that for years, all these different feelings that I had inside that I kept inside because when I would try to express them, they were drowned, and I just got to a point of bottling that up. And then the more and more that I've talked to people and done things like this podcast, which somehow always turns from work-related things into anything else and then back again full circle. Yep. So I think that it's been so fascinating to see, and not even just with this podcast, not even just with the industry. I actually started this podcast because of another few podcasts that I listen to that are also openly talking about mental health and the importance of those types of things, which is why I started therapy, which is why I started this podcast. And it's not ever something that I need thousands of people to watch. It'd be cool.
It's just your safe space.
But it's something that I can just have open dialogue with people and realize more and more every single day that there are people who have, not necessarily everyone, but everyone feels something of the way that I feel inside that made me feel so crazy for so long. Somebody else feels that.
You're talking to the person who literally banged their head into a fucking wooden door maybe 3 weeks ago. It's okay. I understand. We're still crazy, but we just figure out how to channel it. I just really needed to beat somebody that week, and it wasn't for another few weeks.
Yeah. But it's but there's different ways to process. And
absolutely.
And even if we don't react to things that we feel the same way as other people, it all comes back to there are still those shared feelings, shared experiences, or at least enough different things happening to people to make them be able to, in some small way, empathize with the things that you're carrying as well. Because everybody has something, but
we all have our weights.
Yeah, and I think that if more people didn't feel so alone in the ways that they were feeling, or had a way that they could express that they didn't feel the need, I guess, to drown with unhealthy things, then that would be way better. Like, it's okay to have fucking feelings about shit. I didn't know that, but it is. So
yeah. And I don't at all lessen yours or any other woman's experience, but like men especially, like, you want to talk about people who are forced to drown their feelings. Oh my god,
it's insane.
I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. If you want a space to feel things, you're dumb.
And it's like, and it's like everybody wants to be perfect. You know what I mean? In some way or another. And everyone wants to be seen that way. So
you hit it on the head.
So it's
bingo.
Hard.
People want to be seen
as perfect.
And not even as perfect, but just as someone who is inspiring. They want to be seen as
someone who has their shit together.
Yeah.
They don't.
But we don't, man. I became the friend who I was just like, if my dishes are not done, you're not allowed to comment on them.
Yeah. There's so many different things, so many of everybody's own issues and weird stuff that they bring to the table, and that's fine. Nobody's fucking perfect.
Not at all.
And it's like,
not even close.
I make up words in this podcast half the time, like stumbling over it. Like, I'm not fucking perfect. Like, do you know how many cuts I have to do to get through a video without giggling and just fucking around and doing shit? Like, nobody is perfect. It's just that there is a presentation that, especially in a business format, you have to give and present to people. But you also don't have to be afraid of the fact that you can have your own issues, you can have your own hangups, but you have to look at the fact that there are still things that you've done that are productive or that are rewarding.
You have to look at the balance of it.
And if you can only focus on basically all of your hangups or pretending those hangups don't exist,
bingo,
you're never going to work through them, and you're not going to be able to achieve as much out of yourself as you could if you accepted that you have some of those issues and you accept that there are things that you need to work on and improve.
No, you hit it on that there. No, and it's ooh, Let's just soak that one up for a second, actually. I mean, I have comments, but I feel like you guys should soak it up.
Just let it soak like the Mormon penises inside of the vaginas, which doesn't count as premarital sex. Did you know about that?
You know, when you were talking about soaking, I was just immediately thinking of different things that I do that involve soaking somebody.
Ooh, tell me.
My bladder capacity is pretty fun.
Oh, cool. You pee on people?
Yeah, and then I throw them in a sensory deprivation hood to where they can't see anything or hear anything, but they can smell my fucking piss. And I have to watch very, very close. Like, this is something I don't... If you are a new dom, please do not do that to somebody and then walk the fuck away and have them vomit in the hood and then choke on their vomit and die. Take your job seriously. Still hold safe space when you're fucking somebody up. Anyways... Do you want to see the hood? I feel like I've mentioned it on multiple occasions, and I definitely, I do. I kind of want to show this thing off.
Show the hood.
I literally like can't have it on the stand that I have it for at home, like in view of my dog, like just like freaks out. And it's just like, oh my god, it's a head and it doesn't have eyes, and it smells like leather and blah. It's scary looking, but it's fun. Give me a second.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, this is such a good time. It's like some medieval, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah, here, let's pass that off to you for a moment while I get myself back in the do. Isn't that fun? So yeah, there's like a thick padding around the ears that you can feel.
Yeah, I can feel that.
To describe what it is that we're holding, if you are not watching. There is a leather hood, so not a shiny leather like a latexy look, but like a leather belt kind of a look. And you've got quite literally leather belts all over it to strap you in to make it incredibly secure. There are locks on them as well that people can choose to use or not. That's what these lovely little pinholes are.
Oh,
is so that you can go ahead and lock them as well. I truly, unless you are working with somebody who has a lot of experience in being stuck with that and can handle the idea of if they are going into a panic space, they know it's going to take a while for it to come off. If you are not working with somebody who understands that and can handle that, don't fucking lock them in it.
Yeah.
God damn it, I cannot stress that enough.
For those who are not watching, it is really intense.
Yeah, so it does. It looks like a medieval mask that has no eyes. The mouth is grated leather. It's got, if you look underneath here, oh, here's your little mouth hole.
Oh yeah.
That's as you can breathe,
but
it's not like you're sitting there being able to take. You have to do breath control while you're in this. So if you've just been put into an incredible adrenaline rush from being beat or pissed on or whatever it is that you were just experiencing and then thrown into a hood to not hear or see anything, the only thing you can do is feel the fucking ground that you're sitting on. Lovely little trick for doms. If you see your person starting to panic, you don't necessarily have to take them out. La da 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 da. It's going away.
La da 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 da.
You don't necessarily have to take them out. What you can do, there's a really actually quite a beautiful reassurance you can give them, especially if you have them like sitting in a cross-legged position, like propped up against a wall or something to be able to like just like sit against. Grab their hands and like place them on the ground, kind of like this, and then just like press over the top of them.
Okay.
So it's like you're just kind of like, you're quite literally grounding them. It's like, no, you are still here. I'm still here. I still got you.
Yeah.
Now go back into your little abyss.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a really,
awesome.
it's, if you've ever been in a sensory deprivation tank or something along those lines, that obviously is going to create that effect of floating and
but it's totally different.
But it is, and it's.
So can I ask, like, what?
Ask away.
What is like that you found in your experience with something like that? What is it that draws people to that typically? Like, just kind of like not even like mental state, but like what brings you from even being just like I want to be beat in the balls to being like I want to be beat on and then I want a mask that I get to panic inside of.
They don't generally ask for it.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a that's generally something like if you kind of learn from other doms, if you learn from other professionals, that's your best way to do anything, whatever profession that you're choosing. Learn from the best, and you can kind of gain ideas that you think might benefit somebody's headspace that you know that they are needing. It's not something I suggest to do with somebody's first session, but the person that I did it with, I've been working with, oh gosh, 3 years, 4 years, 4 years.
Oh wow,
4 years, I think. This is the person who I do like all of my lovely, like every time we see each other, I leave a new scar. It's a very, very fun and an incredibly trusting dynamic. We've reached a point where I don't have a safe word with him because he knows I will just read him. I will know his limits. I will know when he reaches that space of euphoria of like being completely out of body and when he starts to drift off too far and I need to bring him back down to earth. That is that ultimate dynamic that you want to work towards, but you have to start in those small spaces in order to get there. Have safe words, have a safe word system. Oh my God, don't just have one fucking yes or no fucking safe word, please.
So describe the other types of words that you like. For instance, I don't really know much about that because I don't do it in person.
Yeah. I mean, even just in like a personal, BDSM situation where you want to explore things with your partner, like the green is obviously continue. Gosh, if I can fucking think. Yellow is like back off a little bit, but continue. Orange is give me a break for a moment, then continue. Red is stop. And that's that's it. Like you don't need more than that. If you and you can change that up however you want to. That was kind of my go-to with people is if you say red, it is stop. You are stopping. You are getting unrestrained, and I'm making sure you are okay. I'm getting out of dom space immediately, and we're making sure you're okay. Yeah. Don't ruin that for yourself by calling red.
Yeah.
If you need me to just give you a moment, orange. If you're like, whew, that was too hard, but like we can continue and like that was thrilling or whatever, give me a yellow. If you're really enjoying what's going on, green. Other than that, I'm going to listen to what you say in the sense of like harder. I'm going to hit you fucking harder. Like
don't ask for it if you can't take it.
Oh my God. I had a chick who, I was so annoyed. I had a chick who, this was a cam model and it was at last social, and this is why I almost don't like working with cam models at all anymore because it's like I can't stand people who fake it. If you're telling me to hit you harder, I'm going to start hitting you harder. And maybe I should recognize that I'm not just being a cam model, but I'm being a dom, and I need to explain to them the fact that like my brand is very much. But I don't fake my orgasms. I don't all the above. And it's not like I sat there and like hit her so hard that it bruised her. But
it's one of the things anyone would say if you're saying yes or if you're saying no, hit me harder.
And in a way that is enthusiastic and seem like you're enjoying it. And then all of a sudden you whip your head back and are like, oh, sheer terror. It's like, dude, come on. You can't fucking fake that with a dom. I'm literally looking to you to, oh God, I'm done working with people along those lines. I'm just done with it. I can't fucking do this shit. No, thank you. But yeah, when you get those people who truly like you've been able to witness those levels and be able to truly put in the care, not just caring about the lovely paycheck or whatever it is that they're giving you on top of your beating. Yeah. When there's that extra level of care there, you can truly build those dynamics that allows some really deep exploration. Like there's a few things that I haven't done to people that I'm really, really excited to start doing with this person that I have worked with as long as I have, just because it's
you finally reached the level.
Yeah, we reached the level where it's like, okay, cool, I can shove something up your penis now, and we're not gonna.
Sounding.
Yes. Oh yeah, we know what this is here. This is nice. This is nice. Yeah. No, I'm excited because I've always had an interest in that, but it's not something that you can just do with just anybody.
Yeah, it's something that you not only have to like practice at, but then you have to find someone who wants it enough to not like restrict the practice because it's like
because it has to be something that they are. Yeah,
because
it is
a
very very delicate, and
it like, well,
has to be in a
me.
Sterile environment. It has to, like, it's one of the please don't if you are new to things. No, I can do that.
It's just like if you're brand new to porn, don't do triple anal on your first scene. So it's just like, work up to it, you know?
I mean, well, then again, if you are somebody who really enjoys triple anal in real life, then by all means.
Girl, I'm saying as far as like, I'm not.
Oh, no, I
I'm
know.
not saying don't do it. I'm saying.
Maybe not your first scene.
A timeline.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes,
Start
just in the sense
small,
of the value of it.
Because here's the thing.
Build up
because
that value.
all right. Ladies, I'm just saying. Like, you give yourself value because people will always undervalue. We were talking about this.
I was just saying we were literally just talking about holding out uncertain content.
If
This
you
is beautiful.
if you do not attribute value to yourself as not only a person, but as a performer and as what you're willing to do as a performer, everyone else will undervalue you. They will undersell you. They will try to give you less than you're worth and make them work for it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do it all at once.
Also, everybody loves a good build-up.
Yes, everyone loves a good build-up.
Everyone loves a good build-up.
That's what makes like a good show.
And a longer build-up. Oh.
Why do you think I love edging so much?
I actually oh my God, I hate that I have bipolar because if I get edged too hard, I literally will have a breakdown. It's happened on cam, and I apologize, but at the same time, like, I am so incredibly communicative about it that I'm like, guys, I will literally back out of this fucking room and make myself come because if you edge me one more time, I'm going to start crying. And I don't want to cry. But it's okay because I have this club. I have this club called Sam's Safe Space Club. And like whenever I do need to cry, like beforehand, I used to just like log off and cry.
Yeah.
Now I just dip into safe space and it's like the few like best friends. And like I truly mean this genuinely from the bottom of my heart. These people are some of my best friends. They just come and they tip me to smoke some weed and help me calm down. And they're like, can we do a group hug? And then we all do the group hug. It's fucking that's literally kind of when I remember that's become my sign off. It's like, okay, group hug time.
Yeah,
it's really it's great.
No, that's
when I pop back into public and I'm calm again. Exactly. And I'm like, all right, hold on. I really just needed to go come with people who weren't going to interrupt me. Oh my God, I can't stand being interrupted.
I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, because it's like, just. I'm thinking in terms of that because it's like, for instance, you have this group of people, right? Like,
I love that.
Irregardless, you're going to have people who like you no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing an edging show or whether you're crying in a private show.
Oh, yeah. Like, and like these people are all, ooh. Ba-da-dum.
I'm not answering.
Ba-da-dum.
Should I? Who is it?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just a package. Fuck it. All right. So,
is it a fun package?
I don't know. I don't remember ordering anything.
Oh, I hate when I do that because then I'm like, shit, I spent more money. I wasn't conscious about spending.
But okay. So as far
back on track.
I'm like stoned, so I'm trying to make sure I don't like.
Oh, so I shouldn't light that back up again because I've been
you totally can.
Okay, cool.
Okay, but as far as
I don't know why I need to ask.
Recognizing that. Like, because I didn't recognize this for so long either. Like, there's going to be people that like you no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing solo stuff, whether you're doing not solo stuff.
That's genuine connection.
Whether you're doing triple anal or whatever, because at the end of the day, make sure that as far as performing goes, you can still be a great performer and you can still have your own personality that you bring to the table, and that's what keeps fans coming back for more. And that's not just me talking, that's my fans literally telling me that.
Absolutely. People don't want to pay actors and actresses. They want to enjoy a genuine connection and a genuine release.
Yes, and they may find you from the performing that you do, but understand that no matter what it is that you're doing, there's going to be people who are into it, and you don't have to like give it all away at once. Make people like you are giving
build yourself up.
You are giving away the most intimate thing that you can basically put on the internet. Don't undervalue it because everybody else will.
Yep. And the market value sucks, dude. Like, we talk about like how low people's prices are. Drives me insane. Oh my
it's
God,
like, well, then
so
if
sad.
their stuff is so cheap, then go buy it. But I put on production stuff.
Exactly.
And I do the things that I do that you are here for. If you don't want to pay me for the time, that's fine, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. No, and that's why I've like done so little partner work. Like I have a handful of girl scenes that are really fun. Like my last birthday, scene that I had put out was 2 years ago. And it's literally like a birthday cake foursome where I've got 3 lovely ladies. Miss Caitlin B, who did the show with you before. She and I share a birthday, actually.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I love it. We're actually going to do some more cake smashing stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Doing a dame duo, actually. She's not going to be my sub this round. She's stepping up into herself as a dom, which I love to see because she does like Barbie dom kind of style.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Which that's a concept I've wanted to shoot for a while. It's not necessarily like my brand or whatever, but I get told so many times that like I would do a very good like Barbie kind of a style shoot. I'm like, I don't think I have the tits for it, but thank you. I appreciate you.
Barbie.
I'm not
like
dissing my tits.
No.
They're just small.
One. But like Barbie is in every size, shape, color, everything now.
This is true.
So it's like you could be Barbie. Boom. Actually, my OnlyFans page is naked Barbie doll because
I remember that.
Because ever since I was a baby cam model, people told me that I look like I have a Barbie doll pussy, and I'm like, and I thought it was funny just because it's like very small and tight, weird looking. I guess it's not weird, but there's not anything
not
that
existed.
Hangs. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like just very small, and it can fit a lot, but it's small. So, and so I thought that was funny. But I was also like, y'all never played with Barbies, did you? Because Barbie didn't have a vagina. She had like embossed panties, like they were embossed under her crotch.
I don't know. I mean, they never had like a vagina. It was just like a little V that didn't go anywhere.
Maybe they think mine doesn't go anywhere. You guys have seen my stuff. You should know that things go there.
Oh my goodness. Can you I was about to ask you a question. Can you fist yourself?
No.
Oh.
Can you fist yourself?
Yes.
Can you compare your hand to mine?
I've heard that you have big hands. I got little hands. Look at my tiny little hands. Can you show them?
Yeah. I think my
hands oh my god, my nails are trash right now.
My hands are bigger than like almost every single woman that I've compared my hands against, except for like my mom.
So can you palm a basketball then?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're just like big meaty paws. That's why I try to have. So I chew my nails like obsessively.
I used to really badly, and
I thought I broke the habit, and then I watched the movie, and they were all gone at the end of the movie. So, but I have to. I like to have the long nails because I'm like, then my fingers feel less like man sausages, and I feel like they look a little more feminine.
Or a little dainty.
Because otherwise they just look like fucked up like sausage hands.
You're so funny. I don't think they look like sausage hands. But
you haven't seen them without these things.
Love it. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, no, mine are trash right now. I was so mad too because I was like growing them out again, and I had stopped doing the fake nails for a while, and they were like really pretty maybe a week and a half ago. And then I think a lovely manic spell happened, and I don't know where they are. They just all started breaking on various things. Yeah. Oh, I love mania.
I love like not having acrylic nails for like an extended time period, and then getting them back and being like, I can't. You're like slamming them into car doors.
When I normally have my natural nails looking nice, they're like probably about the same length as those. And they look really, really clean and look really, really nice. And because they're real, this is actually fun in the sense of another reason why I would never be comfortable with working somebody who I don't trust is because of like DNA transfer and stuff. Because one of my favorite things that people love for me to do is scratch them. Like really, really like.
And so you don't want to do that with acrylics.
Well,
and you can't really.
You really can't. Honestly,
they're so smooth.
And they're thick.
Although you do have to be careful fingering your vagina with these.
Oh yeah, whenever I go get my nails done, I keep like a couple of them short, and they're like, "What is this for?" I'm like, "Functionality."
Well, see, I saw that on the internet, and I was like, "That's a great idea," especially back when I was a contractor for Mind Geek because I was shooting girl scenes all the time.
Yeah,
and they're like, "This is the lesbian manicure," basically. Like,
oh, it literally is. I call it the cam girl manicure because I just like.
So I thought about doing it, and I was like, but then COVID hit, and I stopped shooting like every single month. Like now I shoot like every other month. So I'm like, I don't want to just keep too long. I don't really finger myself for fun.
Chapstick so badly.
Do you want me to? We can take a quick break, and I can grab chapstick and water.
That sounds lovely. Right. Chapstick and water time. Peace. 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 Peace.